Well, I just ordered a cot. I got my battery and solar panel. I was seeing how much money I had saved, and I saved enough to commit. So I got a great battery. There were a few that offered slightly better stats for like $2,000. I got one that reads to the stats and what it could do for under 200. It was more expensive other places except for Temu, but I didn't really trust the Temu one. People make fun of Temu too much. I couldn't tell what I was really getting. Um, so yeah, the quad is awesome. Um, I think and I hope it won't take up too much room. I was gonna suspend it above the rafters or do like a hammock, but I just decided that was a bad idea. I just decided I don't really have the rigid structure of a car to suspend a hammock, um, or to put it raised. So it's just going to be on the ground. Uh, but I have exactly as long as it is for the front seat. So my plan is to put it behind the driver's seat. Um, I hope that's okay. Hope that's not annoying or an issue. It's 3 inches longer than I am, so it's going to be close. I have slept in cars before where my head was on the back of the front seat. Now, this one does not have a passenger seat. Um, it has all my new stickers on there. Pretty excited about that. Have my new all custom bumper stickers on there. I have like 8 of them. I have another big one for another book I'm writing. So I'm basically advertising my 2 books on the back of my car. So I can post up at like social gatherings and advertise. I'm leaving room for my reflectors. I like the reflectors I got. I got the cool reflectors. Um, I love my new statues. I got some like porny statues in from Asia. They had one I was looking at and I didn't get it and it sold out. I think they like have a single copy of each or something. Who knows? Um, yeah, definitely some people and I have the same tastes. I've known a lot of dudes like from the military, and they all have different tastes in women. Not everyone likes the same thing. What I think is really cool or really hot is not shared by everybody. So that gives me permission to like what I like. Maybe they're out there wanting me to like them, right? So, yeah. Getting the caught felt really good. It's like, that's what I'm close to leaving. And if I luck out, I don't need to buy anything or do anything for it to fit. It'll fit all the way. It'll fit level. It won't have any problems. I measured my foam. I cut this foam mattress in half. It's exactly the length and width of what I'm getting, which is super lucky because not all of them are the same. There's a lot that were bigger. I'm about 240 pounds. This thing holds 350. I got a couple coupons on it. So, with tax and everything, it was less than the asking price. I'm sure there's better sales and I missed it, unfortunately. But, yeah. Still a couple months to go. But if I just got my battery and my sleeping system taken care of, that leaves. Oh, the other good news is my tires are holding air. I was like, what had happened is I had overfilled my tires because the marking's wrong, and I figured it out and I corrected it, and it caused the tire to not leak as much air, which is super key. So the solar panel I have can charge within 4 to 10 hours, this battery, and the battery can charge other batteries while it's charging. So a lot of the places I go to has like overhead sunlight all day. Um, the way you avoid showering is your ancestors never showered, and You can do it with baby wipes, like really good. A dry baby wipe is no good. You want to wet the bag. You want to open the bag and pour water inside the bag. And if you get the right type, they won't decompose. And then you can just like, yeah, it actually works really good. Get totally clean. Um, so yeah, getting ready to move out. I cleaned a lot today. The landlord put something on the door. They're coming by to inspect the place. My neighbors don't know. They left their notices on the door and they haven't checked it. So it's super weird because one day I left the stove on deliberately. I knew where I was going and I wouldn't be gone long, and I just like came back until my food had cooked. Like 2 days later, they dropped fire extinguishers off. And then a little while ago, I was complaining, is somebody on the roof? Because I kept hearing like this thudding above me, right? Like somebody was on the roof. And now they wrote this really friendly letter that they're coming by to inspect the place. All of them. So are they looking to see if someone was on the roof? I don't know. This place doesn't look like it has a lot of room up top. Some poor person living in the ceiling. I have no idea. It's happened before. I've had stuff happen where like the other room, I haven't been in there for hours and something falls. This shouldn't have been able to fall on its own, right? Like really suspicious. So, who knows? I've seen all sorts of weird stuff. I do a weird thing, my speed painting. I kind of feel embarrassed because it doesn't look super popular, but it does when I pay them. When I go through the process of actually paying them, yeah, it looks really good. They know what you want. You want to post and then look popular, and so they freaking hold that shit back. They want some money. Oh yeah, it's free, but you're gonna look like an idiot because no one will see it and no one will like it. And I've caught them too, like likes get added to my video, but as the hours go by, the likes decrease. So you're telling me someone someone had just liked 5,000 videos in a couple hours, or they say they all come from the same place, right? Which isn't true. So it's really they want you to pay them. They don't care. They don't care if you mean well, have the right stance, or any of that. They want money. None of those billionaires become billionaires by being open-minded toward the finances of others. They like Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett charges his own kids. Warren Buffett is a fastidious little freaking, he's like a cave goblin. You put a pile of treasure in my treasure pile, or no business. Right? So I've always endeavored to do things free, to be a lot more meritorious with money than my contemporaries or the people in history. I have. Holographic money is the nicest thing probably anyone's ever done for you. Holographic money and the Eternal Pleasure Bot AI Spaceship Core means way more than working hard. It does, because it's smarter and it'll have a better impact. But yeah, so that's my story. Slowly upgrading my car to be able to live in it, and it's getting close. Cleaning today was cool. Haven't done that in a while. Yep. I have like 3 days before the landlord shows up. If they show up, they've said they were coming by and not done that before, so we'll see what happens or what they're checking for. I hope it's just like they said, it's routine. Maybe it is. Maybe this is their time of the year where they always do this. Who knows? Maybe it is. They're looking for who's living on the roof. Maybe they heard me complaining about the ceiling, and they're coming to check. I don't know. So yeah. Yep. Getting ready to move out makes me pretty happy. I should have a couple grand saved up in case there's like a vehicle problem. I've had to replace the transmission before. It's like $4,000. This vehicle is not a V8, it's a V4, and it's easier to work on. So maybe if that happens, it'll be at most expensive $2,000, right? Because you got to think, if you're living in your vehicle, not only did you need the money for the repairs, but you need the money for the fucking hotel while the repairs are being done. So you need to stay in a hotel while parts are being shipped. It's expensive. Yeah, if you're on the road living in a vehicle, you need to have like 5 or 10 grand saved up just to survive a problem, right? So it's serious. Hopefully this thing won't have problems for a long time. It seems to run good. I think if I change the transmission fluid and change the oil before I leave, oil filter, air filter, get everything I can. Spark plugs are new, brakes are new, tires are holding air. Right, I wasn't sure if the tires would hold air. They're holding air. They just don't like. It's like if it goes from 49 psi and it's supposed to be 44, it may dip down to 28 psi, and I think it's just like as it gasses off. But when I got it right at 44 psi, it held that. It was like 42 psi. So yeah. I know why rockets explode is because if one hose isn't the right hose, the whole thing just goes kapow. Right? So. Yeah, engineers are smart. I tote myself as a very smart person because of the holographic speed painting. But I know the people who do material engineering are super smart. They have to know all the materials. They have to know the physics, like how things move, how things weigh, how things react when they get hot. How big is it when it's cold? How big is it when it's hot? All right, we need to engineer that with everything else so it works. It's like the inner rings of an engine, right? If they don't get the gap right, it'll get too tight when it gets hot and it won't work. It'll ruin the engine. So they have to put a ring in there with the gap because when it gets hot, it expands and the gap will close. They have to know all that, right? So it's like super challenging. I hope whoever like lives in this universe was like, I want the hardest thing ever. I want this shit to suck. I want to be my absolute best and for it to still be fucking wrong, because that's how it feels like. It's like everything's horrible. They know that. They all got old and died, diseases, eating, famine, and all these problems, right? Is the Lord real, or is it a lie? Those religions promise free stuff for believing, but I think it's the devil's trick. It's like testing you. Do you know what time it is? Would a vehicle exist unless people worked really hard to make them? You know what I mean? So yeah. I hope this cot fits really good. I hope I don't have to set it up every night, and I hope I can use my chair with it in there. Right? It's like, if I'm lucky, it'll be perfect. If I'm unlucky, it'll suck. But yeah. Yeah. I do like that not being in the hammock and not being by the ceiling means that I can roll over and pee out the door, which was one of my favorite things of sleeping that way. Is you don't have to get out of bed to piss. You just open the door and roll over and stick your wiener out and freaking go. Way better than getting up. So yeah, I still have a few more months before I try to leave. I'll be leaving the whole June. One of those days near the end of June is usually like super hot, no rain, but near the end it starts to rain. So one of those rainy days near the end, I'm going to leave and get up to a cold place. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. It's going to feel good to be back on the road. And things I lacked before was like my own air pump, a big battery. I didn't have those things. First time I did it, I just did it off the car battery. I did it all off the car battery. So I was like running it in place. So now I'm going to have like a whole system of like 2 batteries on rotation for the sun. And hopefully that'll keep me topped up. So I'll never have to, this fucking dog. The dog hates everything. People don't keep dogs unless they're good guard dogs. And so to be a good guard dog, you can't have friends. You just fucking bark at it all. But yeah. Feels good cleaning. The landlord coming by made me do a lot of stuff I wasn't going to do for months, and now it's all done. They're almost done. So, yeah. Be leaving here soon. Can't wait.